8 crazy facts the government doesn't want you to know. Number 1.
So this theory says that you'll never experience your own death, not even once.
First off, you guys do know the Pentagon has a budget for film. Like there's a whole department in the Pentagon.
Know that.
That's a fact.
On June 25th, 2007, the CIA quietly released 693 pages of their darkest secrets to the website.
Did you see this? Okay, wait, before I continue, let's talk about it. Project Looking Glass.
Let me tell you about a theory that claims you were secretly turned into a corporation at birth. According to this idea...
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Huh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny and welcome back to another episode of crazy, bizarre conspiracy theory videos that have been found on the internet that simply cannot be explained. And I want to start off by saying everything in this video is alleged for entertainment purposes only. None of these videos are real. You can do your own research, okay, before anybody come for me. Don't come for me. And I just want to say also, this is the reason why I had to start my own website, allthingsjenny.online, so we can be able to have real conversation about stuff like this without YouTube being triggered and the algorithm being triggered because of things that we are exposing. Because they used to call conspiracy theorists crazy until the things that we talk about became real, like, you know, 9/11 and a bunch of other things. So let's get into this, because conspiracy theories are simply people who think outside of the box, do their own research, and bring forth the truth that people don't like to see, because everybody likes everything to be.
So this theory says that you'll never experience your own death, not even once, because your consciousness keeps jumping to the timeline where you survive, no matter what. In my previous video, y'all kept talking about quantum immortality, so I figured let's go down the rabbit hole on this and take a deep dive.
Now this is a story.
It starts with something in physics called the many-world interpretation, which basically means that every moment reality splits. One version when something happens, and then another one where it doesn't, and infinite timelines in between. Now here's where the rabbit hole gets crazy. Quantum immortality says that your consciousness only stays alive in the branches of reality where you're alive. And then the versions of reality where you died, you never get to experience that. So instead, you slide into the timeline where you barely survive, like where the car almost hit you, or like the bullet skimmed you, or somebody found you just in time. From everybody else's perspective, it might look like a miracle, but for real what it is your conscious choosing not to go to a branch of the timeline where you don't exist. The crazy part is everybody else from their timeline might see you pass in their timeline, but not in the one that you move over to. The theory says that your luck isn't luck at all. Your close calls aren't coincidences, and your survival isn't random. It's actually the universe rerouting you. The creepiest part, though, is that in your awareness, you're basically unpassable. Because no matter what, you'll always shift into the version of reality where you made it through it, even if you know you shouldn't have, and it don't make no kind of sense. And people who believe this say that's why NDEs feel so surreal. They talk about weird changes after close calls, memories that don't match other people's memories, small details in their life that are suddenly different, and that heavy deja vu that follows. And according to this theory, it never stops. So as you get older, your consciousness keeps choosing to live over and over and over again. So everybody around you might see their own version of events, but you never get to witness the end. You just keep waking up in another branch of reality. It's a strange kind of immortality, one you didn't ask for, but one you can't escape. Do you think you've ever slipped into another timeline and didn't realize it?
Now, why do you believe that Hollywood was created by the CIA?
Well, before we say Hollywood was created by the CIA, I guess I should clarify, because, you know, first off, you guys do know the Pentagon has a budget for film. Like there's a whole department in the Pentagon.
Know that.
That's a fact. There you go. That's all you need to know. There's an entire department in the Pentagon They get involved with films, and they get involved with films for the purpose of propaganda. They always have.
What movies have
I
they
should have
produced?
said Pentagon instead of CIA. Tons of them. I should show you the list. You should pull it up. It's
Google it right now.
wild. Yeah,
Absolutely,
Pentagon
please.
Department for Hollywood, tons of them.
I have to
Even
report this.
Transformers. Even Transformers, like, you know, because they're concerned about certain narratives. They get involved with like World War films, like how are we telling a story about history? Usually it's because we're lying about what we did or trying not to make Americans aware of the crimes against humanity that we commit overseas, you know?
Yeah, the Pentagon has funded some films. Black Hawk Down, Red Dawn, GoldenEye.
The more you know. So now you understand your experience in theaters is what your government wants you to think. They want you to think that this is how things happen, and it's usually not at all how things have actually happened.
6 of the best movies made with help from the Department of Defense. This is military.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said CIA. I should have just said the government. But
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Red Dawn, Apollo 13.
Mm-hmm. It's all about
Iron
just...
Man?
Iron Man. Oh,
I didn't know that was on the list.
Now he upset. Now he upset. Let me ask,
Interesting.
now you said
Talk about continue.
What? Iron Man? Nah, that's her limit right there. She was like, you know what? Now it's crazy.
What is the point of that? Just control?
Yeah, propaganda. It's crazy. You grow up in school and you think propaganda belongs to the East or something. Propaganda is the name of the game of our government. They, again, never want you to look into the crimes that they are committing, constantly trying to sell themselves as the good guys. They did the most. They rescued and saved the world. They've never done anything bad overseas. If you are living and you believe that the American government hasn't committed crimes against humanity, you had to wake up from the propaganda. You just got to you got to learn real history, not what was taught to you in a textbook. That's all just propaganda. You know, we've done horrific things.
Did you know the Department of Defense literally works with Hollywood to control movie scripts? The 2022 documentary Theaters of War revealed that more than 2,500 films and TV shows have been officially influenced by the military. Movies like Top Gun, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and even the musical comedy Pitch Perfect 3 have all been made with the Department of Defense's involvement. So how does this work? The Pentagon actually has an entertainment media unit that oversees these movie collaborations. They offer resources to filmmakers in exchange for script approvals. Pentagon Entertainment Liaison Phil Straub has openly talked about his role in shaping over 100 productions, including Transformers and even Katy Perry's Marine Corps themed Part of Me music video. Not surprisingly, these films present a one-sided portrayal, working to solely glorify the American military. And this isn't new by any means. During World War II, Hollywood acted as a propaganda arm of the US military. The Office of War Information even had a Hollywood branch, the Bureau of Motion Pictures, which reviewed over 1,600 scripts from 1942 to 1945. Scripts were revised or outright discarded if they seemed anti-war.
Of course the CIA has hands in making movies, in the production of movies. This is all for entertainment purposes only. None of this is true, okay? This is all my opinion. But I do believe this. It's called casting, for crying out loud. The casting couch. You know, Hollywood, the Holly tree, they're literally casting spells on you and washing your brain, brainwashing you, right? Because at the end of the day, what is it that you watch on TV? You watch programs, and you are being programmed to think that we're always at war. You know, there's always a World War I, World War II, World War III, and there's always something crazy going on around the corner. Is someone trying to unalive you and all these things. And plus, in movies, if they have all these war movies and all these, military movies, who do you think oversees these movies and approve them before they put them out? And plus, all these movies that are here to brainwash you, who do you think approve those? They have to approve that the work is going to be done. And
8 crazy facts the government doesn't want you to know. Number 1, federal income tax was supposed to be temporary to fund World War I, but became permanent, and the IRS can't actually explain what law requires you to pay it. Number 2, the FBI had a secret program called COINTELPRO that illegally spied on and harassed civil rights leaders, including Martin Luther King Jr., for decades without warrants. Number 3, the government conducted illegal medical experiments on unsuspecting citizens for 20 years, including giving people LSD without their knowledge to study mind control. Number 4, Social Security numbers were never meant to be used as identification. They literally say not for identification on the original cards, but now you need them for everything. Number 5, the NSA collects and stores every phone call, text message, and internet search you make without a warrant through secret programs revealed by Edward Snowden. Number 6, the government can legally seize your property and money through civil forfeiture, even if you're never charged with a crime. They just have to suspect it's connected to illegal activity. Number 7, the government has admitted to covering up UFO sightings for 70 years, and recently confirmed that unidentified aerial phenomena are real and unexplained. Number 8. There are secret courts called FISA courts that approve government surveillance requests in complete secrecy with no public oversight. They approve 99.97% of all requests.
So the whole tax situation, I was not surprised about that at all, because it makes sense. If you can charge people extra just to be alive, you know, through taxes, and them not having to question anything because it's just something that is, and we just have to just go with it, then yeah, it's just something that people do, right? You know. And also when it comes to the whole owning your house and the government can actually seize your house without having to explain anything to you, I also believe that, because even though you do own your house, you are stuck in the house paying for 60 years that you probably won't even outlive by the time you finish paying your house. And then on top of that, you don't own anything, because there's this thing called an allodial. You don't own nothing at all. The only people that own a property or a home really is like not the presidents, but you know, the kings and the queens, because they have this thing. But look up in allodial, the law of the allodial. I think it's a law or a paper that you need in order for you to actually learn on something anywhere in the world.
Some boy made a video and he basically was like, why can't we go like as fast as our car actually goes? Like, is that time traveling and shit like that? And that shit had me thinking, I don't necessarily think it's time traveling, but what if some areas in the world are sensitive or softer or weak, I guess, beneath us? Like, what if that's where like the FBI and like, y'all seen Superman, right? I don't even have to go off. For the smarties, y'all get what I'm saying. The dummies, just comment stupid shit in the comments. But what if it's like that underground? Especially with this Antarctica stuff. Like, what if we're actually on top of Antarctica? Am I reaching? What if the tunnels are real and that's actively where people... Let me shut up.
Belief comes from the Bible itself, specifically Deuteronomy 28. In this chapter, Moses is giving the Israelites laws and tells them that they will be blessed by God if they follow the laws, and they'll be cursed by God if they don't follow the laws. I'm going to show y'all a couple of verses in this chapter that give Black Christians this idea that slavery was a curse for our ancestors' disobedience. The Lord will send on you curses, confusion, and rebuke in everything you put your hand to until you are destroyed and come to set in ruin because of the evil you have done in forsaking him. The Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You will come at them from one direction, but flee from them in 7, and you will become a thing of horror to all the kingdoms on earth. You will be unsuccessful in everything that you do. Day after day you will be oppressed and robbed, with no one to rescue you. Your sons and daughters will be given to another nation, and you will wear out your eyes watching them day after day, powerless to lift a hand. A people that you do not know will eat what your land and labor produce, and you will have nothing but cruel oppression all your days. The Lord will drive you and the king you set over you to a nation unknown to you and your ancestors. You will have sons and daughters, but you will not keep them, because they will go into captivity. The foreigners who reside among you will rise above you higher and higher, but you will sink lower and lower. So Black Christians read that and came to the conclusion that slavery was a curse sent by God himself for our ancestors' disobedience. None of these Black Christians can tell you exactly what our ancestors collectively did as a whole that was so awful and disobedient that God put us into slavery for centuries. And somehow, those same Black Christians are apparently praising the same God who cursed their ancestors. They ate our ancestors. Mind you, beat them, lynched them, skinned them, and turned their skin into belts and purses, raped to an unimaginable degree. And I am not just talking about the women. You need to look up what buck breaking is. I read about a slave owner who used to shit in his slaves' mouths. And these Black Christians fully believe that our ancestors deserved all of that because of some sort of disobedience. Do you see what I mean when I call Christianity a cult? Because what are you talking about? We deserved it because we were disobedient. If this God believes that our ancestors deserved everything that they got, why is anyone Black praising this God? I mean, I know that Black Christians have demonized their ancestors, like they call their ancestors demons and all of that, but I had no idea that Black Christians hated their ancestors that much. Enough to say with their full chest that their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother deserved to be whipped 87 times because she tripped while trying to bring Massa his food. I mean, y'all are so brainwashed, you might as well go back to reading the slave Bible. You know, the same slave Bible that was for missionaries to bring to slaves to teach them how to read and to teach them about God at the same time. The same slave Bible that omitted stories like the Exodus from Egypt in Exodus 7 through 12, so it wouldn't encourage the slaves to want to escape or rebel. The same slave Bible that taught the slaves to treat their slave masters as they would treat God, as stated in Ephesians 6 and 5. This slave Bible that you can find on Amazon, they taught their slaves that they deserved what they were getting, and the slaves passed that down to their descendants. And y'all are still falling for the okie doke even today. The slave masters would be very proud of the black Christians today.
On June 25, 2007, the CIA quietly released 693 pages of their darkest secrets to the website. No announcement, no press conference, just a document dump of operations so illegal they've been hidden since 1973. The CIA called this collection their family jewels. Assassination plots, mind control experiments, journalists on CIA payroll, surveillance of hundreds of thousands of Americans who'd committed no crimes. These weren't conspiracy theories. These were real. Each page of the family jewels revealed operations approved at the highest levels, operations that violated every law meant to constrain the CIA. And taken together, they revealed something darker than isolated crimes. They told a story. The story of the family jewels is the story of the real CIA.
Let me tell you about a theory that claims you were secretly turned into a corporation at birth. According to this idea, your birth certificate isn't just a record. It's a contract that turns you into government property. This is the Strawman Theory. And here's how this Strawman Theory goes and why people think it explains everything from taxes to debt. It starts the day you were born. When your parents signed your birth certificate, the government allegedly created a second version of you. A straw man. Have you ever noticed that your name appears in all caps on your license, passport, legal documents? Well, according to this theory, that version isn't you. It's a corporate entity owned by the state. The story says that this was tied to the U.S. going off the gold standard and declaring bankruptcy in 1933. Supposedly, the government needed collateral, so they started using citizens, or technically their straw men, as an asset to back federal debt. Each person, the theory claims, is assigned a secret monetary value linked to your social security number or birth certificate number, traded on financial markets as a bond. That's why believers say when you get a ticket, pay taxes, or owe money, the government's actually billing your straw man, not you. And here's where it gets even deeper. Some people claim if you learn the right sovereign citizen paperwork, you can reclaim your legal identity and free yourself from government control. But here's the truth. Legally and historically, this theory doesn't hold up. The strawman idea took off in the 1990s among anti-government movements and was debunked by courts worldwide. There is a difference between natural persons and legal entities in law, but there's no hidden trust account or secret bond tied to your birth certificate, so they say. Still, people find it fascinating because it feels like it explains why the system always wins. Why we're born into debt, taxed endlessly, and controlled by paperwork most of us don't even understand. So whether you see the strawman theory as fiction, symbolism, or a hidden truth, the strawman theory taps into something real. The feeling that the system owns us from birth. Makes you wonder how much of our freedom is really just an illusion on paper. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about the strawman theory? Do you think it could? I mean, listen, I don't put anything past anything at this point in my life. There's not much I put past the powers that be, okay? Anyways, if you like this video, I'd appreciate to tap the heart button, give me a follow, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!
Did you see this? Okay, wait, before I continue, let's talk about it. Project Looking Glass, not an official verified document or program. No declassified documents by the government. Project Looking Glass is a modern conspiracy theory. And let's just go on record and say, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, did y'all see this? And after you watch it, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
One of the caveats that I do have some personal information that I did get personally involved in was some information that had to do with the Stargates and Looking Glass. And more specifically, the 2012 problem with those projects. The popular opinion of what's out there right now is that the project was shut down because there was a problem when we approached 2012. I've heard it described a number of ways, but to my knowledge, the problem is that the timelines converge on that point in time. And when you know enough about the Stargate projects and the Looking Glass project to know how string theory works and how the possibility of possibilities works and how making one choice over here doesn't necessarily mean that the other choice couldn't exist at the same time. But once you get your brain wrapped around this subject, you find out that at the end of 2012, in an easy way to put it, the choices that we make become less and less consequential to the future. And eventually we're pushed into this bottleneck of time, no matter which choice we make. And that's important to the people that had access to Looking Glass because they would use Looking Glass knowing the choices that they would make and the future would pop up. The big mistake was coming up with the possibility of future. And when we started using a computer to say, well, if we make this choice, it's 79% possible that this scenario happens, and 23% are possible, or whatever, using round numbers, that this scenario would happen. The understanding at the time was that was realistic. However, if you go down the road further and free will continues to exercise itself on this game, that 79% possibility sometimes changes very, very fast. But if you look at the situation in a point of time, it seems very realistic that that's the greatest possibility. What happened was people, very smart people, began to figure out that something big was coming up. Something that made it so all the possibilities of all the future scenarios of any choice, any possibility that was fed in and observed through the Looking Glass inherently ended up in the same future. And no decision, no possibility changed past a certain point. That's the big secret. All possible timelines lead to the same basic set of history in the future. That is what sends everybody that has all of the information, that knows everything, into a blind panic. The people that know everything about Looking Glass, that have gotten all the reports and all the information, the elites of the world, probably figured out that that was the end of the game. And nothing could be manipulated beyond that point. When I was in the military, it would have been before '97 when I got in trouble. One of my particular areas that I was amazingly intuitive about is problem solving / mission planning, or more specifically, taking a bad mission and fixing it. Certainly knowing how string theory and possible futures works makes it so you can work your mind very quickly to see the reality of what's happening and decide what decisions need to be made to change it for a particular outcome. At a certain point, after they're done hearing the computer tell them this is what's going to happen over and over and over and over again, all they become focused on is how do we fix it? What I do know is that I was called in and asked to solve this problem, this timeline contraction problem. And I eventually did my due diligence and did all the investigating and basically only had one piece of information, and that was reinforcement. The computer's right. The timelines will contract down to some inevitable thing. There is an inevitable event. It's been forecast, it's been predicted, it's been fed to us in a slop trough of what they want us to believe will happen. They don't actually have control over what happens. They only have control over the reaction, and it seems that no matter what they try to do to cause their desired reaction, it's going to have an opposite effect. Much, much easier for me to explain today what that process is as opposed to back then. If I had to give it a name, I would say it's the awakening process. It's an evolution of consciousness that cannot, will not, and no matter what decisions or possibilities are injected into the equation, eventually it all resolves down to us all learning the truth and becoming aware of this massive dam of lies that has been built that keep us from knowing massive volume of information that we should otherwise possess. Essentially what happened with Looking Glass, not only did they not want people to use it anymore because they knew it was just going to burp out the same thing, but at the same time they didn't want anybody else to know what it was saying, I'm sure. Because that information was a monumental concern when I was in the military about how to prevent this inevitability. Now, at first I thought it was end of the world. Now I see end of the world as end of their world. The biggest cherry on top of all this conversation would be a synopsis to say that if I could convince everybody out there that for all intents and purposes, what we believe to be true eventually becomes true. If somebody convinces us that a major disaster is going to happen in the very near future, a major disaster happens in the very near future. If we don't buy into that fear and accept that there is really nothing that we know is going to happen, and accept of whatever happens, that makes the convergence of the timelines happen as naturally as possible. Any attempts to try to go away from this one inevitable conclusion, I again see as a new beginning, an end of this reality, the beginning of something that we can't even possibly understand based on the level of our beliefs currently. But when all that information comes flooding out, there's going to be no denying what's true and what's a lie or what's illusion. Basically what we're experiencing right now is two master chess players sitting at the board. And one of them looks down at the board and sees that he's in checkmate in 7 moves. And he looks across at his opponent and he knows that his opponent sees it too. So there's no getting out of it. So at this point, the loser can only prolong the game. Both players know the game is over. It's only a matter of time before he does this, and then you're forced to do this, and then he's forced to do this, and eventually checkmate.
So what's your take on this alleged military insight? Are you awake?
Like I said, we're going to touch up some stuff on this book. So in this book is called Spell of Abundance, Love, Wealth, and Protection. So in this book, on the first page, actually, I have a glamour affirmation that you will basically say, you stand in front of the mirror and you stare at yourself and you admire yourself and you will say to yourself how beautiful you are. You'll basically seal this your beauty, like your glam, after you've done your makeup, or even stand in front of the mirror naked with nothing on, so you can really reaffirm yourself of your beauty, of your confidence and all that. This book is mainly for like self-confidence and self-elevation, you know, calling the goddess in you, calling the divinity in you, you know, calling the beauty in you, and also work with the moon, because the moon represents the woman, the mother, womb, water, all of this. So yeah, I have all the steps in here of all the spells that you need to do. It even has one for to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick of all the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new broom. It has to be brand new. And you'll need a piece of parchment paper, a black pen, a black trash bag, because we're going to get rid of this sucker, right? And of course your intentions. And also I have spells on here that you can say. I have daily affirmations. And also I have spells on here that you can do every single day to work with the energy of the planets of the day, and also the archangels that work with the day. So anyways, there's so many spells. There's a 7-day manifestation spell with archangels. And let's see. A 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol's there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil look like, all that. And the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell and basically grow your finance, grow your love, self-love, self-admiration, chance to say to yourself to give you that extra energy to go about your day. And also tips to enhance your spell. Oh, I already said this. And morning coffee abundance prosperity spell. You guys remember I just shared a video about morning coffee and how important it is when it comes to hoodoo, and how you can basically use your first cup of coffee in the morning to manifest a better life or a better day, or to bring forth money to you. So don't let, you're already doing these things anyway, so you might as well just incorporate something a little bit extra to basically boost your thing. And here's to influence your boss spell. So this one, I'm sure people who are actually working are going to love this. It's to influence your boss and attract favors towards you at work. Because look, in this economy, we're all working and we need some boost at work, and we also sometimes need to be tied to our job, so therefore you don't get fired. You know what I mean? So there's some stuff that you could do to basically tie yourself to your job, and or tie the job to you. And once you're done and you're all tired of that job, you can get rid of it. It's not something that's completely permanent, but use magic, guys. It's here for you to use. You have the herbs in your closet, you have the herbs in your pantry, you have the candles that you could just simply buy some candles super cheap. Use magic to elevate your life. Use magic to make yourself better. Let me tell you, Jesus was out here using magic, okay? Walking on water and stuff and turning water into wine. Sounds like magic to me. But anyways, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.